right? So, a very good morning to all gathered as part of this workshop, right? So to introduce ourselves, right? So, myself is Siva Selvan, right? Faculty in Computer Science Engineering at IIIT in Kanchipuram. Yeah. Good morning, madam. Thank you. Right, so, a hearty welcome to all the participants, right? This workshop titled "Human Factors in Software Design." Saujanya, any issues you have, you put it in the chat. Fine. So, a warm welcome to all for this workshop, right? Titled "Human Factors in Software Design," right? And it is largely focused under the theme of interaction design as part of the AICT Atal's classification scheme. Okay, right? I think so. I need not explicitly mention it, but I'm duty bound to thank AICT for having agreed to sponsor this workshop. Right. So this workshop will happen under the aegis of the Atal scheme, right, of AICT, right, which is basically an academy of training and teaching and learning. Okay, right. So I think last year as well we had the fortune of running one workshop under the Atal scheme, right, but that was under the theme of data sciences. This time I wanted to, because I'm also interested in this area of interaction design. Okay, right. So I think so why are you putting your faces on the slide, right? Somewhere I saw an indication that in an online training atmosphere or teaching atmosphere, it is better that the other side knows whom they are listening to. Okay, right. So definitely, I don't look any more younger than I look on that photo there, right? I think so. That's the reason I share the live feed as well. Okay, right. So myself will be the primary coordinator or the faculty associated with the workshop, right? And I'll be assisted by two of my PhD research scholars who will be the assistant coordinators for this workshop. Okay, right? One is Mercy F, and the other is Santosh. And Mercy works in the area of transfer learning. Santosh works in the area of social media analytics. So my request, please note down the email IDs, right, and the contact numbers, right? Because I think in the next 5 days you possibly will live with us, right? So email IDs, all three of us, I have listed it there. The cell numbers, is your cell number a secret? That's not the intent. I'm very bad at cell phone here. Okay, right? I still live with an 1100 Nokia model, right? But my TAs are excellent in WhatsApp, whatever app you want. Okay. So I think please note down both Mercy as well as Santosh's cell phone numbers or WhatsApp numbers, right? That's what, as I've indicated there, right? I'm almost non-existent on Void, or on WhatsApp I'm Void, right? Okay, so I think for the non-CS audience, this Void word means empty. Okay, right? So I don't exist on WhatsApp, but my TAs are quite mutable in all forms. Okay, so I'm fortunate to have two excellent TAs. Okay. I hope I have covered the essence of the first slide, right? I hope you have taken a good look at least the TA's photos. Okay, my photo you chodo, right? But at least the TA's, be aware of whom you are interacting with. Okay. Next slide, I think you can move on. I hope people have taken down the numbers, right? And I think the primary reason why we have opted Gmeet, right? The chat, right? All that stuff is quite friendly on the user. Okay, friendly as well as usable on the user for the user. Okay, right? But my sincere request, right? We will not adopt this because this is a mature audience, right? So we don't believe in muting somebody forcefully, then unmuting, all that stuff, right? My request, right? Use the mute option or unmute option in a use unmute option whenever you are or when you feel that you have a disturbing question which has to be put across, right? Otherwise, if you have some basic minor questions, you can push it in the chat, right? I'll look at the chat as well. Okay, right? So that's on the workshop platform front. Okay, now I'm not stopping anybody from unmuting and all, right? That's what, if you have a disturbing question, you are free to unmute and post it. If you feel it's a minor question, you can use the text chat option. Okay. So that is on the workshop protocol front, right? And I think I have to thank all the participants, right? And the larger picture I got from registrations, this has a wide mix of. I think last year's workshop we primarily had a CS audience, right? But this time I'm more happy to see a wide variety of registrations with people from engineering, people from design background, right? I saw some registrations from NID, NIFT, right? And some faculty from arts and science stream, right? I think that is actually giving a good indication of people's interest in this area of design. Okay, right? So you can possibly view this as a software design workshop. Right? I think we are slowly getting into the justification. Okay, right? So what is the focus of the workshop, right? All that stuff. So I think, as I said, right? So it is bracketed under the theme of interaction design under AICT's. I think around 7 to 8 themes they have. Okay, right? So workshop is focused on the theme of interaction design as per their lingo, right? We also view it as a human-computer interface domain. Okay, right? I think the 3 words are important here, right? The human is important, the computer is important, and the most important is the interface which you create for the human to interact or to talk to the computer. Okay. Mercy, is my voice breaking?
No, sir. For me, it's fine.
Yeah, then it should be the other person's connection here. Okay, you check. Okay. Okay, right. So the larger interest of the workshop, right, or what does a domain like HCI, or as I call human factors in software design? I think some people should have already got the message of the title, right? What are all the various human issues or human characteristics which will impact the process of software design and development? Okay, right. For a long time, right, software has essentially been used in the software engineering industry, software development, right? That has been the view for a long time. Okay, but this domain of HCA, right, I think it's possibly, it's not too young and all, which possibly evolved after software engineering, right, was basically looking at the cognitive issues. Okay, so what does cognitive issues mean? Right, I think layman terminology will be the human factors, right? The human psychological issues involved, right, as part of your application development. Psychology is not a bad word, right? Because psychiatry is interpreted the other way. Again, psychiatry is also not equally bad, right? But what are the human psychological issues which will either make or break? I think you can view it as any product, right? For us, the theme of the workshop is in the context of software. Okay, so human factors involved in software design. Okay, I hope at least people are now comfortable with the title, right? You can call it anyway, yeah, human computer interaction workshop, interaction design workshop, right? But then we wanted to be specific on both the human part as well as the other 2 major parts involved, right? And in fact, when I started out in this area, right, long back, I'm talking about in 2007 or so, right? We were quite young to that area at that time, right? We felt it as an exclusive computer science area, right? Later, as we pursued, we understood that this is a culmination of various areas, right? It's not just software, it's just one aspect of it, right? And we also got to see a lot of literature where any interaction with any machine, right? You can even take it a lathe, you can even take it a cell phone, any machine which is used by human beings in real life, right? You have issues involved of interaction design, right? So that is why that larger theme of interaction design comes. Okay, so I hope people are appreciating the difference. Okay, so interaction design, you may just not be interested in the interaction with the computer alone, right? The interaction with any system, any machine in real life, right, is involved. Okay, but as part of this theme, we are more interested in the human factors associated with software design. Okay, and one key word, right, which actually catches the essence of this workshop or HCA area is what I call as usability. I hope, or maybe Krishna Sai can point there, usability. Okay, right? So usability, or in fact, the industry also prefers calling it as usability engineering. 1 minute, let me check the other room as well. Okay. Okay, I think Krishna Sai, you can primarily focus on the larger room because there it is only our people. Okay. Right? So usability is a key trend in software design these days. right? And I'll put it this way, right? For a long time, right, the industry has been focused on developing what they call as I hope people are seeing the chart as well parallelly. Okay. For a long time, right, the focus was on creating user-friendly products, right? So another the DI systems as they call, right? So the focus was on creating efficient, in fact, you can even call it as pleasing GUIs, graphical user interfaces, all that stuff. I'm not saying that is bad or that is wrong, right? But too much focus had actually gone on to that they actually started forgetting the user, right? So they wanted to create user-friendly software, but the problem was, right, they were creating. Is there a chat in the other room? Please join the primary room. Correct. Okay, right. So the focus that time, right? What do you mean by GUI? Some of the widgets that you see, right? A drop-down menu, right? Buttons, all that stuff, right? Links. Yes, they are helpful. Agreed. As points of interaction. But then the developers, right? They were actually assuming things on the user's behalf, right? Or I'll put it this way, right? They were developers' version of user-friendly software, okay, right? And you shortly start seeing examples which argue the case for it, right? Forgetting the human factors associated for the domain, human factors associated for the product or for the software, okay, right? So I think you can possibly treat HCI or interaction design or the focus of this workshop as a study of usability and its practice, right? So how do I create? I'm putting it as usable software systems. You can take it as usable product, usable machines, whichever way you want, right? Depending on, I think I'll forewarn right at the start itself, the other stream people, right? You can relate all of these concepts, right, with your application domain, right? Whether it is fashion technology, whether it is design of some machines for mechanical domain, electrical domain, software for the computing audience, right? You will always have human issues involved there, right? So this area is focused on, am I catering to the human issues as part of my application development, machine development, whatever you name it, okay, right? So I hope people are now clear with the definition at least, or the theme of the workshop, right? So what is our larger interest? Understanding or create software, create solutions, or create other technologies. I think the technical definition of the word usable, right? It is actually derived from the root word called use, yes, okay, the English root word of use, right? Its variance is what contributes to usability. So, what are the three characteristics we are now attaching to the word usability? People will want to use, that is what we mean by acceptance of the product, right? So people accept your product, people are willing to use your product for a longer period of time, so all that stuff, that's what we mean by people wanting to use, right? People will be able to use, right? That's people will be able to use to say, are they finding the solutions that you give to them, right, in a manner that they have some assumptions of, they're able to achieve what they want quickly without having to read a long manual, right? I think more into this, we'll actually be getting into the various topics of the workshop. I hope people are getting larger message, right? So usability engineering as a field focuses on acceptance, right? Whether the product is used or not is what we call as acceptance, right? Whether the product is usable or not, that's the key form of, or the key focus of usability engineering. And the last part of it, right, and will find effective when used, right? Yes, it is fine to be usable. Yes, it is fine to be acceptable. But is it effective? What does it mean? Is it solving the needs of the user or not, right? So he comes in with the requirement to book a railway ticket. He comes in with the requirement to cancel a ticket. Is he able to get done with his objective? That's the first objective. what we call also as, I think for the mathematically bent audience, they call it feasibility study, right? Optimization and all, they call it feasibility study, right? So first phase, you will have to give an acceptable solution, right? I should be able to book the ticket. Next comes, am I able to book it quickly? Quickly, not in terms of server time and all, right? As a user, I am able to use the product quickly or not, right? I think that logo is just for the sake of the logo or whatever you call word cloud, right? Some of the users are real focus here. I'll put a key phrase, user is a real king. When it comes to interaction design, user is deemed as a king, which is a problem with the earlier setup where the developers were kings, queens, whatever you want to relate, right? Even soldiers, everything they were, they just restored a product, you had to use it, right? If you want, maybe next slide you can go on. Krishna, sorry. As he switches to the next slide, right? Maybe just one more example just to relate usability, right? Krishna, you can move on to the next slide. I don't know whether there's a connection for him. Okay, right. Well, I think just to give one more example of understanding usability issues and all, right? See, I think we people buy washing machines. I don't know, for some strange reason, it is this product which comes to my mind always here, right? So you are a frequent user of it, fine, right? Washing machine, some electronic gadget, right? Refrigerator, all that stuff, right? So what are the booklets which you get along with the purchase? LED, TV, whatever it is, right? Any gadget you buy, any gadget or any major device which you buy for the house, forget a computer, right? Let's assume washing machine, right? So what are all the entities which you get? Excellent here. User manual or what they call help booklet manual, right? And that booklet manual, the size of it is a real pain first, right? It will almost be like, no, they wanted to make it handle fine. Demo video these days, link, all that stuff, agreed. Now my take is, how many of us started using the washing machine after reading the workshop or the user manual fully or looking at the demo video, right? If that is the case, washing machines will never get sold, okay? What do we mean, or what is the larger focus I'm trying to give? Users want to start using the product on the fly. Are people understanding the larger issue I'm trying to pitch? Excellent. Who was that? Om Singh. Correct. No one, I guess, right? And this is what I share, right? That help manual they give, for some time it will remain safe in the bureau along with the warranty card. Okay. And after a while, that at least the warranty card will stay for its rest of its life, but the help manual will find the way into the dustbin. Okay. I don't know whether I can use that unparliamentary word, right? Then whom are you helping, right? That's the Ballam Sharma, if you can mute, okay. So I think it is helping nobody, right? So in fact, there is an area in HCA which is actually focusing on how do I create usable health systems, right? And I think one of my speakers will actually talk on that as well. Okay, I have people got the larger message I'm pitching. When you develop a solution, to the extent possible, it should be users should find it easier to use or getting started with the product. That is what we mean by usability. Are you getting it? Right? Now I know washing machine straight away you don't use, but at least 2-3 instructions which some demo person comes, he tells, you understand the working basically, and hardly you use, right, any other feature, right? The wash cycle, right? And then maybe spinning, drying, all that stuff only, frequently used features only you are majorly interested in. Okay, right? I hope people have got the larger message, right? So anything which you create as a solution for the human, are you developing it in a fashion that it is easier, quicker to learn? I think a specific HCA word, if you want, this is what we call as learnability of the product. Is the product easy to learn? When we design bulletproof jackets, then we develop. Yeah, I may be right. Excellent. You may be right. That's what I think. Most of the products, at least, when we design bulletproof jackets, then we develop user manual for users. Correct, right? See, I'm not saying the user manual has to go away entirely, but at least most frequently day-to-day usage items, solutions, whatever you create, yes, you can assume people will start reading the user manual and all, but it should not be, see, these are security domains, right? Bulletproof jackets, machine guns, right? So those you cannot develop it in such a way that it is easier to use. In fact, it should be difficult to use. There, the focus is entirely right. It should not be that easy for normal users to get started with the product there, right? But here, at least, I hope people are getting larger message. Okay, typical naive end users, right, should be able to learn the product quickly. This is the joke I used to share in my course of HCA, right? Agreed. Okay, you're giving a help manual. Good. What is the point in giving it in? Okay, any take on why is the size of the text in that manual is coming down? They will print it in 56 languages or all languages on earth possible, okay? And then bring down the size of the font there. What is the relevance of a Tamil Nadu user or a Delhi user when he is buying it? Maybe you give it in English and the local native language, fine. What is the point in giving it in 56 languages? You are actually bringing down the dash of the manual. Can somebody fill the dash on the chat? By giving it in 56 languages, you are bringing down the dash of the manual. Yeah, having used the word so frequently so far, can somebody ping that dash? You can ping on the chat here. Readability. Readability is a more layman word. Good, excellent, spot on. But I will say the user, excellent, attention, or the larger HCA issue of the manual is losing its, yes or no? See, the purpose of a manual is it should be used, right? Better give it in English if you're catering to a worldwide audience, or maybe if you're the sale is pertaining to Japanese audience, maybe English and Japanese. But what is the point they are serving by giving it, dishing out in 56 languages? Right? You are highly multinational, and that's not the intent. Right? At least they should look at making it more usable. That's the larger mistake. Okay. Okay, right. Are people now attracted towards what you will be in for the next 5 days? I'll be interested in, am I looking at user issues to make the product I develop usable? Are people comfortable with the word usability or not? That's very important for me. At least 1 or 2 can ping on the chat. Pinging on the chat means responding on the chat. Yes, okay. Yes, good, right? So this is the focus. I am not interested in creating any attractive solutions like blue color screen, yellow color text, right? All, yes, that is what we call GUI, user friendly and all. But in the process of making it user friendly, don't leave the user for a toss. Okay, you will shortly see software examples itself, right? I'm happy to see the messages. Okay, good. Now, right, I will not go through it in a detailed fashion, this brochure, okay, but just for you to people to, there are some slight adjustments we have done to the initial one planned on the website, right, because some of the speakers were getting held up with their office commitments, right, so there is some movement of schedules, at least only one day, Tuesday, my schedule gets shifted to the afternoon, that's it, right. So we'll start with my introduction today, right, then followed by a speaker on AI and design thinking, right? And afternoon session will be a combination of both the design laws and some demos of it or practice for it, right? The next day we'll start with web usability, right? Because most of the products are on the web these days, right? So Harini will be actually dealing with the web usability guidelines, right? And then Kenneth will actually take care of interaction. There are various types of designing interaction strategies, okay, right, or interaction design paradigms as they are called. Okay, so we'll move on to that. Then you will have a session with me on interface design rules, standard rules, right, agreed upon in the literature. Okay, so that is the second day. I hope Mercy would have already communicated this workshop brochure, right? So I think it is not essential to go it point by point, right? Quickly I'll brush through. Then Johnson from Apple, right? 1 minute. Johnson from Apple will take care of, he was my former student intern, right? UX by UI design concepts. The actual title is yet to confirm us, but it will be something related to that, right? Third day, again, a session with me on Jessol's theory, which is a famous principle in interaction design, right? Then relevant practice sessions in the afternoon, right? Fourth day, design issues when it comes to the desktop versus the mobile versus the website platforms, right? Universal design, right? Just for the interested audience, when you develop solutions, right? Are you developing it keeping in mind the younger age group of audience, the elderly, right? See, most of the product they dish out these days, right? At least the software products they expect the users to be able to type in. Okay. What about the elderly class of users who may not be comfortable with typing? So age of the user, young users, moderate age group users, elderly users, people with some cognitive disorders, right? Autistic people, right? They may not be that able to have increased attention focus, all that stuff, right? So issues in HCA that focuses on such issues of users, the ages of user, the culturality of the user, right? Whether he's an Indian user or the Chinese user, right? These are what we call as universal design principles. Is a product designed for universal use. I'll give you one example, quick example for universal design. Warning messages, right? I think your use is excellent. Yeah, beautiful. Schneiderman principles of design, I will cover it in my interface design rules. Who was that? Spot on. Okay. Something I wanted to tell. Just to pitch in the importance of universal design, warning messages when you use a software, right? Or a website, what color normally do you see warning messages? Somebody can bring on the chat. What color do you normally expect warning messages when you are an Indian user? Excellent. So for us, red is warning because that is a typical traffic signal connotation, right? Red means stop, green means go. Excellent, beautiful, right? Now, what is the problem? This is correct only, sir. Correct. For the Indian audience, this is the user mentality, agreed. But when it comes to China, right, their flag is full of red. For them, red may not be danger. For them, red may be happy. Okay, there are differences here. For us, black means mourning, right? Whereas for some other country, black may mean happiness state, right? Whereas white is mourning. For us, white is, I think, a sign of peace or something, right? Are you people getting it, right? So if you're developing it as a global product, you will have to look at the culturality issues involved as well, right? But if you're catering to the Indian audience, right, then developing and then giving it according to, are you getting what I mean by cognitive issues, universal design issues? This is again looking at human factors, right? The Indian audience, red color is typically viewed as a warning sign, right? Okay, just one more example. Okay, let me finish through going to the workshop brochure. Okay, so that will be the focus of universal design here. Good. Anjana Rajneesh, very good. Right? And then UX design, we have one faculty from IIT Bombay, right, who thankfully agreed to talk about. Okay, his specific title, actually, I think I'm not updated the brochure. It will be designing for and with emergent users. I'll put it on the chat. Maybe the brochure you would have brought would have been final. Designing for and with emergent users, right? So that will be the talk by Professor Joshi from IIT Bombay. Okay, emergent users. What does it mean? People who keep changing. Users are dynamic over a period of time, and their understanding also keeps changing. Right? All such class. Okay. User support systems is what we typically call as help systems. The workshop booklet, the workshop manual, or your device manual, and all you talked about, right? So how do I create good help systems? Okay. And we are also planning to have one short demo session where I can have my students demonstrate their projects which they have developed. So that will be the last. Okay. Maybe looking at how things proceed. Okay. Right. So I think this is the essence of the workshop. Okay. Right. One more issue, just to talk about the interaction design issues involved. Right? Just universal design. Right. One famous author for universal. Or for HCA textbook, there is one good text, not ideal textbook. One good reference material by Alan Dix here. Okay, right. I hope there is nobody in the other room. Only 12 people are there, and I think they are all our people. Okay, good. What am I talking about? Alan Dix. Okay. Okay, Alan Dix was a UK author here, right? UK teacher. Basically, he had a mixture of all classes of. His students were from different countries: India, China, US, all that stuff. Okay, French as well was there. Okay, this is a typical example he discusses in the text. Okay, I think we the teachers have this habit, right? After we put across a concept, we expect for some communication back from the student that they have understood, but we can't expect yes sir, always, right? So there is some face-to-face interaction, right? Or what do they say? Unspoken understanding, as they tacit understanding, as they call. Okay. right? And our typical Indian user of saying that we have understood is, let somebody say, they ask the question, have you understood? We shake our head along the which axis? Vertically, or maybe the Indian notion of conveying the fact that yes, we are with you, yes, we have understood, is to shake our head along the dash axis. Which axis? Yeah, x-axis or y-axis for us? Y-axis, right? We nod our head vertically, right? Yes, we have understood, right? But it's the French audience, right? It is the exact opposite. They shake in their hands, the heads in the x-axis to French. Or I think the specific nationality I may have forgotten. But a non-Indian audience, they were communicating with him with a x-axis nod. What was the problem for the faculty? So why am I highlighting this example? Forget HCI. This is what I call. There are plenty of issues involved when it comes to human interaction itself, right? So if there are so many issues when it comes to involving human interaction, you should be even more careful when you are developing interfaces involving a human and a system which is not going to be humanly enough to even try to understand, right? So that's where it fails, or it's an idiot box. Have you people understood or appreciating larger theme of the workshop? Next slide, Krishna Sai. Okay, right. So I think I will give me or apologize looking forward. Thank you. Okay, right. So the larger, I think people have got to know the theme of the workshop. I hope I've justified the need for this area. Okay. Now this person, right, I actually wanted him to have as part of the inauguration, but due to age constraints and other online, I think somewhat the earlier generation faculty, right, somehow they are still not comfortable with this online mode, right? In fact, we are also not comfortable, but we are learning to live with it, right? So he is Professor R. Kalyana Krishnan. Okay, note down his name and maybe later Google it. I'll possibly say it with all surety. You may not get more than 2 to 3 links. That is a rarity of the person we have. Okay, we have, or we could not have him physically present as part of the event. But I think yesterday only he mailed me the slide saying, I'm not able to make it, but you still can share the slide as part of your starting session. Okay, right? So he is Professor R. Kalyana Krishnan, right? Just to give you a quick brief of him, I think he was the first batch of BTech students from IIT Madras. Okay, BTech Electrical Engineering. I'm first batch. I think most of you must not have been there, right? Okay, fine. I think around 1959 or whenever they started. Okay, right? So the first batch of BTech from IIT Madras in BTech Electrical Engineering, then went on to finish his PhD from Yale University. Okay, right? And then came back to serve IIT Madras and started the computer science engineering department in the 1970s. So I think I regard him as the father of computer science at IIT Madras. These are iconic people who in fact established computer science as an area at that point. So his actual core focus is on computer organization, systems design, all that stuff. But I also found him to be an excellent design person. Right? You can't avoid it, right? When you're designing systems, you will have design issues coming at. Okay, right? A very typical old-fashioned faculty, right? But I am, he is my passionate teacher, right? I am still here. He is epitome for me as far as teaching is concerned. Okay, right? I was really really happy to see his message, right? And I think you can read out the message for yourself, right? He wishes all, right? And then starts out. Or towards the end, he conveys the success or his wishes for the success of the workshop. But the larger really, I think that's Professor RKK for me, right? What I will possibly try doing, excellent. What I will possibly try doing over the 5 days, or what I try doing in a 40-hour, 45-hour course at CA, he simply summed it up in that one sentence. Yes, stay human as you interact with technology of this day. I think that is the essence of HCA, right? I know for me, I have been teaching the subject for around 10-15 years, but the sentence was a learning curve for me itself, right? I will go one step further saying in those 3 parts of HCA, human is there, computer is there, interface is there. I am now inclined after Professor RKK's message that you have to give the highest importance to the human, right? Yes, I'm not saying throw the other things apart, but if at all you want to prioritize, then the human comes on top. Okay, right? I know I was really, how many people are appreciating the larger, that one sentence is the gist of the workshop, the gist of the area for me at least. personally, right? But you may not get plenty of online material on him, okay, right? But at least do read on him, right? Because I think these are people who actually established computer science in the country, okay, right? So my sincere thanks to Professor Kalyanakrishnan for right, and creating such a wonderful message for this workshop. Thank you, sir. Next slide, Krishnan sir. Okay. Yeah, so now we'll quickly brush through some examples, right? Sir, it's a HCA event. Where are the photographs, right? Okay, these are some real cases of failed designs, right? Who did they design this ATM for? It's supposed to be an ATM, but they wanted to have only the hefty people operate it, right? No, we wanted to keep our money safe, okay? These are all cases of messed up designs, okay? Next slide. So, no, this is the age of 3D, and slowly we will have 4D, because human mind is a complex, unpredictable entity. We can never replicate. Excellent. Spot on. Correct. Right? So, in the process of creating one, that vertical bar is adding a third dimension to the time. Who will be able to read the hour and only God knows. Okay. Right? This is what we call, no, because it is designed, we'll beautify it. Aesthetics is important. Right? But aesthetics not at the cost of violating the basic human interpretability skills and all. Okay. This is difficult on the eye, right? How will I read? Next. I think you will have plenty of messages. We'll quick. That's what I think. These captions were mine, but images were from several online resources. The impact and cost of bad design is far more adverse than excellent. Spot on. I think I'll put one example, right? There is one theory of Pareto optimality. Okay, I think some of my scholars will talk in their laws as well. Right? There is a law which says 80% of the occasions, people use only 20% of the features. Any product you take, these days they say it is even 90-10, 80% of the occasion, people use only 20% of the features. So if you can plan that 20% in a possibly usable fashion, that makes the product, right? And I'll avoid, I think we can take some examples as well. There are some platforms for this, even this online interaction, where they throw all the options available. You guess it, right? I will not, because I'm not supposed to name it explicitly. Throw all the 100 features on the screen, crowd the screen, then the user will find it even difficult to use. What is the point of it when he is actually interested only in using 20% of it, right? Correct. And he may not be interested in all the 100 as well, right? And Pareto, correct. That's what I hope I put the law's name. Okay, just for the interested audience. This is what we call in engineering as Pareto optimality, or in design they call it as a law of vital few. Okay, if you can identify the vital elements which will be the actual make or break of a product, that will make the success of it. And what better example for a website which has become famous just for having white space? People quickly name. It's not even 80-20, they made it even 95-5 or 90-10. So which website do you like here? Now you may have like, which website is most famous, which website comes to your mind when you want to go to even other websites. Excellent. What is great about Google's design team, right? They have an excellent design team which, forget me for the spelling mistake, it is called a minimalist design approach. Don't show, I think that's the beauty about Google homepage, right? Spot on, right? White space is beautiful on the eye. You will understand a lot more principles of it. Simplicity, interface, all that. Have people got the larger message when I meant don't throw too much at the user? Okay. Agreed. Thank you, sir. Okay, but next slide. See, no evil. They identified a security camera, but then they hit it with a beautiful smart LCD monitor at the top. Next. Inside the lift, they keep so many buttons. The user will better find it easier to take the stairs than keep operating the buttons, right? That's it. What is the problem with so much interfaces in times of emergencies, right? It's a real hell, right? And this is another marvel of design, aesthetically looking beautiful with a V symbol or an M symbol, whatever you want to call. But finally, no user will be able to cross the door or whatever it is, right? Next. So for fire emergency, sir, it would be great if you share. Yeah, they will do it, man. See, my recordings, my PPTs, everything will be uploaded. We have a YouTube channel created also. and by the end of the day, all the videos will be uploaded there. The Google Drive will contain the. I don't know whether I think recordings they will put it. If Mercy, it's up to Mercy, but you will get it in some form or the other. Okay, damn sure. And by the end of the workshop, if people are interested in the area, right? Yeah. We will surely give. Okay. By the end of the workshop, if you people are interested in the area, I don't mind even sharing the entire 50 around 45 slides of my course, right? Because I cannot cover the entire course here, but I'm quite open about it. Okay. If people are interested, you can ping and ask me. Sure. Right? Okay. Who did they design this fire emergency system for? Okay. How will they be able to? First place, how will they be able to even open it? Let them. It is better not to have a fire extinguisher if you want to have it in this design. Okay, excellent design flaws. Next, and we can go through this quickly, Krishna sir. That's what they call pride goes before a fall, right? No, we want to create beautiful, pleasing looking interfaces.
Sir,
Pleasing.
sir, I am
Yeah.
audible, sir. Sorry, before you have shown that fire hydrant, that is not
Yes, sir.
a design flaw. It is a lack of coordination of different people.
Yeah,
No, it is a
yeah. 1 minute earlier.
lack of coordination. Yeah.
Earlier slide, Krishna sir. Yes, sir. You can tell.
This is not a design flaw, but this is a lack of coordination, sir. Lack of coordination between the fire and that
Yeah, see,
people who
when
have
we,
built that.
when we look at a product, now I'm not meaning the fire extinguisher design per se. The overall, see, as far as the end user is concerned, for him it is overall design, right? See, I am not a civil engineering person, right? Or I am not an architect person, so I will see it as one overall design. As you rightly put it, right? There are some coordination issues among different teams involved, all that stuff. That is the headache of the developer. See, that is what this area is all about. Don't bring in your internal issues of development onto the user. It is your headache to interact all that stuff. Right? Had they paid some simple user testing, right, issues, they surely would not have come up with this final design, at least per se. Right? You are right. I'm not saying the extinguisher is not openable and all. The architectural what aspects involved. Spot on. Next slide, pa. Yeah, I think that we can talk because I have a personal example in this earlier slide. No, earlier slide. So why don't you scroll? Because if I scroll, I can't see the chat here. That is a problem. That's why I ask my students to do the presenting. Right? Yeah, it looks like a great mattress, right? All the stuff is beautiful. But when you physically get down such a stair, right, you will never get a feeling of the second stair at all. Right? It will be just like. I'll tell you my personal example. No, this is not from our institute, personally at least. We had a setup where the all steps were styled, right? It was larger seat, 240 classroom, right? It was all light tiles, okay, and excellent, right? Accidental dangerous. Your accidents are prone to be more, right? And during exams, right? People, because when we invigilate people, one student in this corner will ask for a paper, the other student in the other extreme corner. So normally faculty we move around quickly, right? Even during classes for tutorials and all, I found the difficulty that when we get down that stairs, right, we have a rugged feeling. Then I understood that the choice of the color they had for the tile was not conveying the difference in stairs. I hope people are getting it, right? And the depth of the stair also should be matching. All these are. I hope people are getting the larger issue involved, right? I really cursed. No, I'm not. I think I'll be frank enough and accept whatever problems we faced internally. It was also put across. What is the point of such beautiful designs when they are even bringing down the basic? Excellent, correct, good. I think people have understood larger message. Next slide. They actually wanted to convey, don't worry, be happy, right? But this way, don't be happy, please worry. Okay, that's what I comically titled it as, possibly not designed by students, but by either by teachers or their parents, students' parents, right? Please keep worrying. Okay, next slide. This is what we call as designing for the sake of it, to make it look different, that's not design. Design is for the user. Okay, good. Thomson Reuters logo. Okay. What is the issue with this here? Can somebody ping? Or I think if somebody wants to even unmute and talk, I am quite open. What is the problem with this? See, they are having two circles. They wanted to bring in mathematical notion of Venn diagram, intersection, all that. Great. Right? Trust, partnership, innovation, performance. These are all ideal characteristics a company should possess. And then they are having one more circle called our values. But what is the problem with it? The intersection they are eventually conveying is really that small. So what is the user likely to interpret is you don't have any of these values which you. I hope people are getting it right. So what was the point of, see, a Venn diagram is typically a choice when you want to convey this idea of intersection, union, all that stuff. When you choose something, choose it not for the sake of looking it attractive, making it beautiful, all that stuff is fine, but don't end up conveying the exact opposite of it. If we talk about engineering or fashion or any design field, what was the chat? Its purpose is to fulfill and not correct. See, the problem with this choice was the Venn diagram will be an attractive tool to convey. That's all fine, but the way you are eventually you are losing because typical users' notion of Venn diagram in set theory is intersection, right? And at least if not, the circle should be of same size. Excellent. Visual attention is diverted, and the other value, if somebody makes meaning out of this, right? Yours is a product that I should not trust, right? That's the you can't get it wrong any further. Okay. Next slide, Pa. Okay, I think I just had a lot of examples. They wanted to convey the message that we are with you, you are not alone, and then a pink background with a pink knot. That knot is not visible at all. Okay, so do you want to convey solidarity or what? Next. I hope people are enjoying the examples. Okay, right? Because I think there is no point in theory. We will talk theory. Good. Next slide. Next slide. I don't know whether Krishna Sai, there is a lag with you or okay. Okay, right. So I was worried whether too many examples I have. Okay, right. This is the problem with the faculty here. We don't remember how much we have. Okay, good. Right. So I hope people have got the larger essence, right? What was shown visually so far for you of failed design, you will have several such requirements coming in as you design a software, as you design a textile, as you design some machine, right? Keep the user always in mind. So that is the essence of this workshop. Okay, human factors in software design. Okay, right. So I think now some characteristics for it, right? So key aspects of HCA, right? So we call them as functionality and usability. Functionality is what we call as features. Okay, characteristics, features, and usability also comes. Okay, I'll also put the other way. No, we will not bother about anything about functionality. That is actually important, right? As some user rightly pointed out. Engineering is also important, right? Because some features should also be eventually satisfied, right? The washing machine is looking great in terms of design. I agreed, fine, but eventually it should spin, it should rotate at higher revolutions per minute, right? Those are the functionalities, right? So they are important. Are you supporting these functionalities in a human cognitive way? Is usability. These put together is now software design, interaction design, interface design for me. Okay. See, I'm repeating it just for the sake of importance of it. All these cognitive issues which you will discuss, psychological issues which you will discuss, you can relate it to any domain you are in. Either it's a I think most of the examples will come from software, right? Because the theme is related to that. But these are equally applicable from any interface design point of view. Interface is not a computer science word. What is the dictionary meaning of the word interface here? Excellent, correct. What is the dictionary meaning of the word interface? It is a form of communication, or it is an intermediary between the two users. Okay, two users, correct. Are you getting it, right? So you have a human, you have a computer, somebody needs to be, or this entity is an interface which acts as an intermediary between these two people. Okay, this is the joke I share in the programming languages class. Okay, right? Okay, I think I don't want to make it computer science, but just to, why did they choose the word C, C++? Can somebody name any other language? Oh, you will name Python. Okay, Python is a mother and father of languages these days. Okay, good. Deep learning, deep learning, all that's fine. Okay. Why did they call it as programming language? Yeah? You program the computer fine. Why? What was the relevance of the word language there? See, you are again only talking to the system. Language is a form of interaction in real life. So that I hope people have understood, right? So real life, it is all about interaction or communication. Spot on here. Very good. I'm very happy with the ping interface. People are okay. I think people have understood the larger importance of this slide, right? So you cannot compromise on the basic features. Yes, it is important, but on top of that, are you supporting these features in a usable fashion? Okay, right? So if you want to if you want to formally define usability, okay, it is defined as a range and degree. Range, matlab, so what is a minimum, what level, maximum level, right? Range and degree by which the system can be used efficiently by the user and adequately, right, to achieve his feature, the requirements. That efficiently will cover everything. Is he able to start using the product quickly, right? All that stuff, okay, right? Okay, I think you people would have heard this word. Okay. You people have heard this word robustness, right? Can somebody give me the meaning of the word robust? No, because this is an often misconfused word or a confused word, right? Effective and efficient, right? People normally treat them as effectiveness and efficiency, right? Normally people confuse this for they use one over the other. It's not this case, okay? Efficiency is how quickly you are able to do things, minimal use of resources. I want to book a ticket in 2 seconds. I'm able to book a ticket. Resistance against failure. Okay, that's why there is the reason I'm highlighting. These are related answers. Good, Jayashree, spot on, right? But maybe a simple user way of looking at it is efficiency is about ability to solve the problem quickly and with minimal use of resources, all that stuff. Effectiveness is what I call as completeness of the solution. Okay, right? Give us one example. Let's say I'm coming up with a timetable generator, automatic timetable generator for faculty courses, all that stuff. Okay, right? Effective matlab, see, there are some aspects of feasibility, right? You can't put one faculty at 10 o'clock, 2 different classes, right? Are you getting it, right? So this is what we mean by completeness of the solution. Are you giving an effective solution or not? It is efficient, but it is not even satisfying principles of feasibility, completeness, then it is not an effective one at all. Okay, right? So robustness for me is about striking a robustness is about striking the right balance between effectiveness and efficiency, right? See, these algorithm designers, right? Algorithm designers, matlab people who write and implement algorithms, programs and all, they will, for them, efficiency focus is on, right? The program should run quickly. Okay, is Google efficient or not? How do you find there? Is Google efficient or not? What is a measure which they are indicating? When you're searching for something on Google, right, what is that measure which is an indication that it is efficient? The results we are getting it excellent. Retrieved so many results in not 5 seconds, some response, right? So that is efficiency for me. But what I'm talking about completeness is, are the right is being returned for the user? Okay, I'll give you an example to understand better. Accuracy, spot on. Okay, right? Nowadays Google is quite effective as well. Earlier days, right? Let's say you search some sentence involving the word bank here. Correct. Bank, some search query I have where I have the word bank also in. Okay, right? Now, what is the problem? You will have web pages which are related to the financial domain, and that is one meaning of the word bank. Okay, what are the other meanings of the word bank? In English literature, they use it for depending upon, can you rely upon. Excellent. Who was that? Shilpa Bansal. Thank you. The other fellow. River bank, that is one more meaning. Now there are this many number of pages, right? So there are river tributary pages, there are English literature pages, there are financial pages. This is what we call in computer science a context sensitive search, all fundu terms they give. But the larger issue is, yes, efficiency is important. Excellent. Is efficacy coming into the efficacy is coming from effectiveness? Okay. Have you understood the difference between efficiency and efficacy or not? If you ask me, if you want to give a slight bias, I will give it for efficacy, right? Because I need first be efficient. What is the point of efficient but not Noah? Rahman. Okay. See, efficiency is when Google gives you a result. I am returning productivity and effectiveness. Correct, right? I am able to solve a problem in 2 hours. Right? This is about talking about efficiency, right? But am I solving the problem completely or not? Right? That is effectiveness. See, I can generate a timetable. I think you people understand feasibility. Correct. That's what I use that word feasibility. Okay. Timetable generation, you can put a beautiful colored timetable, all that stuff in 5 seconds. But if you're scheduling 1 hour for me as a faculty, 10 o'clock, a second year class and a third year class, what is the point of the timetable solution at all? Isn't design related to the perspective of the domain? Yeah, it does. Right? How much I can do, how much useful, much I can do, how much useful it is. Correct. See that both I'm never arguing that you will have much as you get into design, right? The specifics of it will start varying as well. Agreed, as some people are pointing it out. But you should understand robustness as an art of striking a right balance between effectiveness and efficiency. First place, is it an acceptable solution? Right? And then maybe go giving out. I'll maybe just to give you one more example. Let's say I want to travel from Chennai to Delhi. Who was that? Yeah, Jayashree is a computer science person. The time and space complexity measure, right? Time and space are both for me complexity efficiency measures. Okay. I'll give I think one more example because people seem to be bothered about it. Okay. Let's say I want to travel from Chennai to Delhi. Okay, right? Chennai to Delhi, I want to travel, right? And let's say you also have your boss also gives you the objective that travel with the minimal cost involved, right? The flight ticket, whatever road, whatever it is, right? So minimize the cost of the travel, then you are bringing in efficiency aspect. Coming up with a solution, excellent. That's what I said. Use minimal time, use minimal money. That is all about efficiency. Any minimality, any maximality, maximize profit. That is all about efficiency. Okay, right? Travel from Chennai to Delhi, that is the goal. Then you can say go by road, go by flight, whatever it is. Okay. Now, right? I hope people are getting it, right? Then come, no, you have to be there on time. Time is more important than over money. Then go in for flight, and even flight, go in for a flight which will not have any transit or bitway stop. I think who was that, sir, who said no? Are you able to now differentiate between Rahman? Differentiate between effectiveness and efficiency. Professor Himanshu Sharma, do you want to talk? Okay, I think if you can mute your mic, right? I think people have got the larger message. Good, yeah. Right? Because
yes,
I don't know whether
thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, no issue, sir. Okay, I think you will be much senior to me. Sorry, sir, if I'm addressing you by name mistake. Sorry, because I typically be in this mood of a class. Okay. Okay, I think people have got the larger message of what is robust. Again, I'll repeat, don't use effective and efficiency in an interchangeable fashion, okay, which is what at least I remember seeing some students doing it. That is the reason I spend ample time on that, okay. So when you give us a break, if we started at 10, I am slowly in the winding up mode to be rest assured, right? Because I know the human mentality for a theory session is when is the break coming? Next. Okay, right. I'll sum up the this HCA, right? This is OB different. I think as non-CS people, you need not pay too much here into the terms, but HCA was viewed to be an emerging trend in what we call as computer engineering. Right? So that is where we differentiate, right? When you're looking at design issues involved in computing systems, we call it computer engineering. Computer science engineering is looking at more at development, right? The science issues involved there, all that stuff. Okay, right? And there is an excellent ACM. ACM is what? Association of Computing Machinery here. Okay, they have an excellent literature curriculum. In fact, we modeled our curriculum on them. Okay, right. I think the larger design of computing systems, right? Are you doing it for efficient hardware and software interaction, or you can even replace that word efficient with robust. Okay, right. So I think this is another definition of HCI, study of how people interact with computers and to what extent computers are usable or not for successful interaction with human beings. Okay, next. Be rest assured you will get my slides. Okay. Right. I think all this I've talked. I think I also have this habit of talking out of slides. Okay, you should get used to that. I think those three green terms are the key aspects of an interaction design platform. Okay, human is a user, computer, and interface. This computer, you can change it anything here. If you're developing a software, then it is your desktop. If you're developing a website, then it is your website. If you're developing a solution involving a lathe, then what is a computer? Let's say I'm developing a system which will involve a lathe to produce some, I don't know, I'm not a mechanical person here. So some product, let's say it will produce anything which takes in human input and gives out some output is called as the computer half. See, I think don't see it as computer matlab, it is only you can, that's what, if it is a non-computer and any other a device or any other system, any other machine, then you can view it as interface design. Okay. Right. So what is the focus of a designer? What is the focus of an utilizing technology? Excellent. What is the role of an interface designer? Design, strike the right balance between what is ideal and what is feasible for users. Feasible, let him achieve his requirement and don't go on top of it, blowing all colors on the screen. Why are you so averse to colors? I'll show you some examples. Done. I hope people have understood the larger role of culturality, national differences, and all I have talked here. Okay. That mental model alone I have not talked. You hang on that. We will come back to it in Windows discussion. Okay, next slide, Pa. Mercy, what was the session timing we planned? 11:30 or do you have a look at the book?
11:30.
I should not overshoot too much. Safety aspects for lathe. Safety aspects for lathe. Yeah, maybe because I think if there are mechanical issues involved, you can look at it. But then I think the reason I brought in the lathe was people should understand the fact that computer matlab, it is not a typical computer domain only. If you call it, so you are designing a solution or a setup for some mechanical domain as a lathe or an electrical domain as a CRO or something, all those are computers for me. Then we call it as interface design. Okay. I hope. I think your safe aspect comes here. Goals of HCA: produce what are called as usable, safe, and functional systems. It should be usable. So KC Gopinath, if I'm remembering right from the registration details, is a retired professional, right? So thank you, sir, for the interest. I think he is an ONGC person, if I'm recalling well. Okay, right? So safety is the paramount importance there. Okay, usability, safety is okay. This is the problem with me. Okay, what is the problem? You are not telling. Wait. You also have another domain called safety critical systems in the computing literature. I think not computing, right? I think Gopinath says, working area, ONGC, all that stuff, right? Nuclear power plants, all this stuff. These systems are called as safety critical systems, okay? Right? What do you mean? The definition of it, the safety of the system is critical on 3 counts. Life first, then the environment, then the cost. Okay, right? These are what we call safety critical systems, right? Your ISRO launching what is it? What do we call it? Satellite, NASA launching satellites. These are all safety critical systems. Okay, right? First, the safety of the user is very important, right? Because you have created a solution, and if you launch it, next day no human being will be alive on Earth. Keep it with you. Okay, so safety of the user is very important. Okay. Next, what did I say? I think these three terms I put is not from the HCA point of view, from safety critical, right? So life should not be disturbed, environmental damage should not be there, nuclear power plants and all. Okay, I don't know. There was some Japanese power plant where there was an earthquake, and then something spilled over onto the sea, right? So that is what we call as safety of the environment. Cost these days, your cyber systems and all, right? I have designed a beautiful design or come up with a beautiful website. If you use other than your, if you were debited for 500 rupees, 50,000 will be your account, keep it with you, right? So safety, these days money also, I put it last, but I know the modern student community may put the cost at the first. Okay, why did I bring in it? See, these safety critical systems, right? You don't have the luxury of, no, I've written a program, it will let us launch the satellite, and no, I've encountered some problem, recall the satellite back, then fix the bug. That's not happening, right? Nuclear reactor as well is the same, right? Because when you launch it, you don't have that option of going back again, right? So there your safety checks should be even more. From a designing point of view itself, the system should ensure that it is I don't know, I think ONGC person is the right person to use the word. I think this is what we call as fail-safe designs, right? It should minimize failure. Okay, this is the joke I share in my HCA class. The pilot is there with you in the mid-air, right? One of his landing gears is not working. Maybe announce to all the users that we are all left to God's mercy, right? Let us all fly in air for a while, right? That's not the way it is handled, right? There is a plan A. If plan A fails, there is a plan B, plan C. There are several plans. This is what we mean by fail-safe design. Okay, I hope I have talked enough about safety, right? Somehow I got hooked on to that safety word here. Okay. Yeah. Design comes first before you develop our program. Okay, think about all these aspects when you design solutions. Think like a user. Okay, right? System should be designed to match the requirements, right? That's what I said. People, users are the next slide. Okay, right. I'm slowly towards nearing to the end of this talk. Okay, right. One more. Who was it? Shilpa is I think is a design person. Excellent. Thank you. User empathy, right? Empathy is not sympathy, right? Feeling for the user is not design. Feeling as a user is a design. Okay, design correct. Sympathy is another word used in another sense, right? Empathy is a powerful design word. Excellent, yeah. Okay, right. So one more example struck me. Okay. I think if somebody can think of it, there was a Lion Air incident. I don't know when was it, 2 years back, 3 years back. Right, Lion Air is actually, I don't know, Malaysian or somewhere Indonesia, right? Like Air India, famous service there, and there's a major crash involving one of their Boeing 730s or 370s. I don't know, some Boeing flight. Okay, so I forgot over the years. Okay, right? Why are you taking this Singapore airline, right? Eventually, around more than 200 people died, right? I'll talk about the technical issue later, right? Why these safety critical systems, right? The aircraft industry and all, right? Once an accident happens, what do they do here? They'll commission investigation, look for a black box, all this stuff, and invariably or not, what is the finding of the investigation? Most of such failures, they will come up with a beautiful one-line summary of the investigation saying human error. Okay, without maybe explicitly blaming the operator or the flight or the air traffic control person or whoever it is. The view in the design community is some blame they will give. Okay, it is never a human error. A failure of a solution is typically a design error. Humans never fail. That is, now I'm not saying humans will never fail from a mathematical point of view and all. The mantra or the goal with which you should start creating designs is humans will never fail. It is if at all there is it is the design which is contributing to the human failure. Right now, I'll talk about that Lion Air incident. Are people aware of that episode? Why did it crash? I have forgotten. Some Max or some system they had here. Okay, with the larger essence, I'll tell you, they had some additional feature in the architecture in the nose tip of the aeroplane that it will detect the what is it, altitude or something, right? Some physical parameters, environmental parameters, and the nose will automatically dip, right, to adjust to that altitude or something, okay, right? The theory was great, they tested it, all that stuff, it is fine, okay. What was the problem during takeoff, right, when the altitude is low? And that's what I said, I'm not a fluid dynamics person, no aerodynamics person, right? And this system was automatic. So it will adjust the nose of the plane, and that was via a software. Okay. I'll tell you the other story. I think the pilot who actually died in that air crash was an Indian. I hope I'm recalling well. Okay. Right. Later, I read some article which said even the earlier day of the same flight, the similar issue was encountered, but fortunately the other pilot, or there was a pilot who was in the cabin crew or maybe in the traveling part of the list of passengers, he knew how to take the manual control back, right, stop the automated shifting of the nose, right, so he could avoid that day, right? But then you can't expect the same pilot to keep traveling as a passenger every day, right? Now, what was the problem here? You added a solution to your design to make it look great, artificial intelligence automatically taking control, but you possibly have not, the system has not allowed the users to take the control that easily. Are people getting the importance, right? See, these are matter of life and death, right? The switching between automated and manual control should be spot on. Just one button press, it should go back to my human mode of solving things, right? That's what, this is what I call as, because AI was coming, use AI left, right, and center. Okay, didn't keep consistency and system in mind. The training was bad. Good morning, everyone. I think you, okay, you're joining late. Fine. Go, okay. Next, I think, okay, these 5 E's are very important here. Okay. You can view something as a usable system if it can, what meets these 5, I call it as 5 E's. It should be easy to learn. That's what I said, right? You should start using the product quickly. It should be easy to remember how to use. Now, don't give out examples in such a way that they are difficult to remember, okay? Because if it is bad on the memory, then people will not like the product as well, okay? It should be effective to use. We have talked, efficient to use. Excellent, that's what. All in all, I will say usable, right? After this workshop, at least, come away from the word, I think give more importance to the word usability. Usability. Usability will subsume user-friendly. It's not the other way around, okay? And it should be pleasing to use. Nobody should hate your product, okay? Okay, next slide. Sir, Mercy, next session starts at 11:45, right? Correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, then we'll get ample break. Okay. 1 minute. Some more examples. Design a beautiful glass door and then paste a sticker saying push and pull. Okay. And what will happen? People will, Nokia 3310. I have a 1100. I don't know whether it is before that or after that. That's what some of the old designs, they are excellent. Okay. You seem to be an old, useless person. Fine. Push and pull sticker. See, when you design a door, the choice of the handle, if it is made carefully, that will clearly indicate what can be done. The door. Is it pushing or pulling? Right? Why did you bring in this? What are all the possible operations that a feature allows? Is what in the design circles we call it affordance. What all can I do with this door other than breaking it apart? Right? By pulling it when it should be pushed, and by pushing it when it should be pulled, right? You see all these cases in real life, right? Beautiful designs, and it is a costly silver handle or silver gold coated handle. What purpose does it solve if it is not all possible uses apart from intended? Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's very important. That's what we'll call universal design. Okay. I hope people are getting the word afford. Affordance. If you support a feature, what does it allow to do? Right? I think some more examples which I looked at in the literature, right? The Xerox machines, right? Photocopier. Why is it called Xerox? The company who invented the photocopier. Okay. Eventually that word photocopier got replaced with Xerox. Fine. Right? The problem is they have 2 buttons, exclamation symbol and C. Okay. And I know it is still the same. I don't use Xerox. That is a strong branding. Correct. Yeah. Where even the excellent spot on, right? Where when your brands are strong, right, they tend to replace the existing words. Good, right? But what was the problem with this? Exclamation was typically used for copying symbol, and C is typically used for cancel, and you can't blame them because C is a cancel even in calculator usage. Okay, right? But then the problem is the modern day computer friendly audience. This is the joke I share. Computer science people are famous if not for anything but for Control C and Control V. Okay, right? So for that class of audience, C may look like it is for copy. Okay, right? Now I'm not saying because I'm not a heavy user of Xerox machines and all, right? But I think they are looking at these are issues which have to be looked at when you are designing like Coca-Cola. I don't know what. So Thanda matlab Coca-Cola. Okay, I think this is the beauty of it here. Words if you interpret in real life, right? Matlab it is in Hindi you say, but in computer science audience it is MATLAB for me. Okay, okay, excellent. Next, the essence of this slide, they are confusing. Yeah. Okay, see, I think the essence of the last slide was affordance. Your design should clearly indicate what do they allow the user to do, right? And if you want me to give an example, right, your mobile phones of the current day, right, they are the least, I don't know, most of them, they don't score good on affordance, right? Multiple features for each button, and when you're in an emergency, it's real hell, right? If you support a feature, I know they are constrained on mobile phone because space is less, more features are required are more. To the extent possible, is a user getting a clear idea of what he can do with the feature? Have people understood affordance? Okay, that is important, right? And I wanted to bash Windows. Okay, I'll come back to the slide during my next talk, right? Because I don't want to be eating too much apart from talking. Phone camera as well. Yeah, correct. You have plenty of usability issues when it comes to mobile phones, right? I don't know, the current student generation, they are quite adapted typing SMSs and all. But you give the same phone to the other earlier generation people, right? They find it very difficult to type, right? Multiple overloading features, unnecessary confusions. Okay, right? Okay, Mercy, you can remember this point, right? Because I don't want to talk the technical aspects, right? Windows 8. Okay, this person is very important here. Jakob Nielsen. I'll put it in the chat just to reiterate. I regard him as a father of usability engineering. Okay, right? And they have a company called Nielsen Norman Group. Jakob Nielsen is one famous person in design and in usability issues, and the other person is Don Newman. Sorry, Don Newman. This is the problem of computer science faculty. Don Norman. Okay, right? Don Norman or Don Norman, as he said. Nielsen and Norman are famous personalities in interface design discussions here. Okay, they have an excellent website called Nielsen Norman Group. Right? Plenty. I think some of my materials also is based on that. Right? When Windows 8 came, okay, right? I don't know how many of you relate to that discussion. Windows 8, it was beautiful in terms of aesthetics of the design. Full of blue color, cobalt blue, tiles keep moving, all that stuff, right? And the problem they face, they shipped the same version they actually developed it keeping the mobile user in mind. Yeah. Windows 8 was blasted by the design community, okay, right? They kept, when the parts of the design approach, they had the mobile user in mind, but they shipped it along for the desktop user also, okay. As a user, this is my personal experience. In Windows 8, because when you install it and when it loads, right, that beautiful colored, that's why I used to call it as a cobalt blue operating system. Beautiful colors here, right? And then it will also show you the temperature in United States, as if I am interested in what is the temperature in United States. You can change those features, agreed. Plenty of tiles. That swiping culture, okay. But this is the swiping generation, right? What eventually happened for the initial users who came in from the Windows 7 95 background at all, we found it, or we couldn't figure out even how to shut down the system. Right? Shutting down was a real treasure hunt with Windows. Okay, I don't know how many whether people face this issue. Unless you have faced it, you may not appreciate this argument, right? We didn't know because they did away with the start icon, which we are so used to with Windows over the years. Eventually, you saw only some blue color and tiles and all. We couldn't relate. And then, if you fortunately touch one sensitive portion on the right corner of the screen, a panel will open up. And there, some clicks you have to do. I don't know, 5 to 6 clicks to shut down. That's what people will simply get out of the product. Okay, this is just one tip of the issue, right? Maybe I don't want to give in too much in one day as well, right? So I will talk about this issue, but at least Windows 8 simply failed because of usability issues, because they were violating mental model. Best example could be OS and Windows. Yeah, that's what I get. Right? I think there are a lot of technical meaning, the technical aspects of design where they failed, but a simple design aspect where they failed miserably was they violated the mental model. What is mental model? User, nothing is mental about it, okay? Users, beliefs. The user will have some strong beliefs about the system because of using similar products. Right? Over the years, I've used similar products. I will believe some. I will build some history about it. Okay, right? So Windows users, they were coming in with the assumption that there will be a start icon or what is that Windows flag or something, right? So the moment they took it away, that was a real kill. Are people understanding the word mental model or not? Now forget all these hidden features and all. Maybe in next class I will use 5 minutes or 10 minutes to cover the rest out of it. Mental model is a very strong design term. Okay, why are you developing it? Things not violating the beliefs which the user will have. Okay, right? One more example I'll give. Any underlined text in websites, what is your interpretation here? Any underlined and maybe blue color underlined text in websites. Excellent. Hyperlinks is a technical word. For the non-technical people, this will point to more information, right? So this is the mental model. No, this is my website. So I will underline, because students have this habit, right? Underline most important answers with blue color, red color, green color. So I will underline in my website, keep such websites with you. I'm not meaning you with any negative offense and all, right? That's a personal involvement. This is what we call mental model violation. Do not violate mental models unnecessarily. Just for the sake of it, don't violate, because I'll tell you, Nielsen's argument is Windows 8, maybe it had a lot more issues. Simple issue of mental model violation was a major trigger for its failure. Okay, correct, highlight. I think I have some more points to talk. Maybe Krishna sir, can you quickly scroll through? Yeah. So these are more technical aspects of why Windows failed, and I want to give you some break here. Okay, right? Yeah. So I will talk about it in my next class. Okay, Krishna sir, you can remember this. Maybe from the Windows point we can start. Okay, I think some 3-4 slides. That's not an issue, right? Because I talked Lion Air and all. We lost some time, right? I think we'll wind up for this session, right? Take a break. I don't know. That's the misfortune of not conducting a physical workshop where we can give you the liberty of a tea or something, right? I am not getting it at all here. Okay, in my home office, I used to get plenty of tea. Right? Okay, last slide alone, you show them, Krishna sir. This is what I said, right? HCA is not any one area's individual claim. Computer science comes, cognitive psychology comes, social psychology comes, linguistics will come, right? So plenty of is there, okay, right? Don't worry, you have not completed the syllabus. I'll come back to 3-4 slides in my next slot because I don't want to drill in too much technical content, okay, right? Good, dear, go have a break. 11:45 we will join, right? And the next speaker is he was my past student, but he's now with a famous company called AMD. Okay, excellent. I was very happy to see the audience. Ritu Singh, the other I forgot him. Rahman, all of you, your interaction. Bansal, or I hope I'm recalling the name well. From Shilpa Bansal, right? Thanks for the interaction as well. Okay, I'm happy that people are enjoying the event. Okay, sir, first place. Thank you, Mercy. You can stop the recording.
Yes.
Krishna Sai, thank you. I only scrolled. You are getting the major user. Thank you, pa. Mercy, I'll take a short break.